Hi everybody, it's Alex Newton from K-lytics, and today we're going to talk about some important Amazon changes. So let's have a look. Over the past couple of weeks, you may have thought to yourself, oh my god, what happened to my categories? Because when you go to a book on Amazon and you look at your book page, you go down to the product details, you will have noticed that your category information has been stripped down to a very abbreviated version of what is known as the category path. So what happened exactly? What we are used to is the full category path information at the bottom of your book, which shows the categories in which the book is listed and ranking in. Now, a book can be listed in more than 2 or 3 categories, in fact up to 10, but it will show those 3 categories where the book achieves best ranking for that matter if it's in more than 3 categories. And you used to have this full information, that it's listed here as an ebook in the Kindle store, Kindle eBooks, Business and Money, Skills Business Writing as an example, and it's also listed in paperbacks, here books, Business and Money, Skills Business Writing. What you see now on your book page is this: business writing skills, authorship, business writing skills. So for the first and the third one, you don't even know which one is the Kindle edition, which one is the paperback. And you also see at the top that you used to have the full information to really find the categories in the browse category hierarchy. But as you can see, the detailed information is gone. So what to do? Well, first of all, don't panic. The categories, as I will show you in a second, are not gone. They're still there. Just the display on the book page of the complete category path is gone. The category is still there. But why is the loss of detail important and significant? Well, if you want to get your book into more than 2 categories and on top of it get into categories that are seen on the Amazon store, your Kindle Direct Publishing dashboard doesn't really help, because all those categories here are based on what is called the BISA codes, meaning the Book Industry Standards and Communications designation for genres or categories. However, these categories, as you know, do not match what is the Amazon storefront front end. What many authors and publishers did, at least until last week, to get a book into a very specific category in the Amazon store would be something like this. Say you have a very specific niche, such as historical fiction, civil war. People would look for other books that match that topical category. One would then open and look at the book pages of some of these titles here. Let's take this one as an example. Scroll down to the product details and find the category path where the specific book is listed in or even ranked in. As you can see, this abbreviated version here of the categories is not of much help. Does this mean the category is gone? No, it is still there. It is just not fully displayed. And you can get to it if you click on here, in this case, War Fiction. It will take you to the respective bestseller list, actually. Here, bestsellers in War Fiction. And you can then infer from the information on the left sidebar, Kindle eBooks, Literature and Fiction. Go further down, you see the selected one, War, that would be one of the possible categories to put the book in. You see immediately problem number 1 with this: wasting time. What has been a tedious process before has become even more tedious. Now, for the past 5 years, my job has been, to look at Amazon information, and in doing so, dealing with Amazon changes. Amazon will always change. And in fact, this very recent change of abbreviating the category path information at the bottom of the book page has not come overnight. It was originally tested by Amazon back in 2018. So we were prepared. And what you have to understand is that Amazon's priorities when changing will always be the consumer, the reader in the first place, and then the author or publisher. So whenever Amazon changes its interface, it may not be to the advantage of the author or publisher. And in fact, I could give you a whole webinar, a whole seminar on what changed over the last 2 years. The bigger picture is this: the battleground in e-commerce is also the user interface, because you want it to be responsive, adaptive, and focus on conversion, meaning that you get people to click and buy things. Now, Amazon was one of the first players out there in e-commerce, and much of their technology and parts of their web pages, well, look, you could argue a little bit old-fashioned, very cluttered, and Amazon has really started to declutter the place. You see mobile responsive pages now. Recently, the design of the of the Amazon bestsellers has become more sleek, and the individual pages are mobile responsive, and there's much less information on it. So they removed more things than just these category paths, which simply are not very conducive to a nice decluttered interface. So the impact on authors and publishers is that this decluttering will get some information under the wheels, so to speak. But in this very example, let's summarize. The categories still exist. The category is still there. It is just not fully displayed. And you can get to the category when you click now on the abbreviated category ranking at the bottom of the page. It takes you to the respective Amazon bestseller list. But this is a very tedious process. And the second problem I had with this in the first place here is, well, how can you be sure your competitor knows better than you? Just to illustrate, remember the example where we looked at several books that had to do with Civil War historical fiction. Then looking at the individual books and the bestseller list where they rank in. Well, how do you know that bestseller list, that category is, a very good choice? Well, you don't. The good news is we got you covered. K-lytics members never really had a problem with these abbreviated category designations. You'd simply go to the category database for elite members, click on the latest data set, work on the screen or download the category database. Then I simply search all the 7,000 categories, or category paths to be more precise, for the word Civil War. Click OK. Then using the breakdown of the category path, I can start taking out branches that may not be relevant. For example, we don't want to have biographies, we don't want to have nonfiction, we don't want to have teen and young adult, and you see you can then narrow it further down. You can look at what are the highest selling categories within this segment. In fact, these would be the lowest selling ones, then sort to get the highest selling ones. You may want to find the categories that are easy to rank in, so low number of sales for the number one title, of which there would be a couple of ones. Then you could say, give me very small categories where you have only a few titles in, and you see here categories with less than 300 titles in it. This has always been a much quicker process than spying on competitor books. If you have a K-lytics membership, there's no reason to worry about these changes in the category display. If you're not a member yet, come check us out at K-lytics.com. That's K-lytics.com. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. This is Alex Newton from K-lytics, ebook market intelligence for success.